I'm muted. Here we go. I didn't say anything very important so far. I was just asking you for your patience. So thank you so much. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Katrina. Thank you, Karen. Please let me know where you're coming from. It'll be my pleasure to know where you're listening from today. Welcome, everyone. Wow, Manchester, welcome. You're 1 hour ahead behind us, I mean. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Lisa from North Carolina. Wow, Georgette from Australia. Jen from New York. New York, yes. Adrienne from Utah. Lee from Spain. Jen from Edinburgh. Bob from Connecticut. Geneva, yes. We're very close. Thank you so much for joining today. It's my pleasure to host you. Netherlands, welcome. Welcome to Hub. Wow, very nice. Lovely to have you all here today. It's my pleasure to host you. So let's see if there's more people right now. Let's see. Denmark, welcome. Welcome, Inglis. Thank you so much for joining. It's really moving to host a global gathering like that and to see all your names and the location where you're coming from. Ooh, Lampeter in Wales. Welcome, Christine. Welcome. It's lovely to have you all here today from the French Alps. I'm near Geneva, so near the Mont Blanc, the mountains. And Canada, Dan, thank you so much for joining. Alexandra from New York City, yes. I used to live in New York, so it's close to my heart. And Norway, wow, Wenchi, thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much. And oh, Kathy from a native New Yorker living in the mountains of central Portugal. Wow. So that's a little closer from where we are right now, from where I am. So beautiful. Thank you so much. And you can keep on, mentioning your name, telling me where you're coming from. It's really lovely. So we're gonna start the presentation today. I'm very excited to welcome all of you. It's a big honor. And I'm going to, let's see, 1 second, bear with me with the logistic. Here we go. I'm gonna record this so people can see that right now, can see a little later. So now we can go. Welcome, everyone. This is the start of our global gathering, Shamanism for Inspired Action, from vision to creation. So this event is designed to discuss how shamanism can inspire actions and enrich our lives, our communities, and Mother Earth with deep love, with compassion, gratitude, and joys. And shamans are the torchbearers of their inner light. They take action motivated by a deep sense of purpose. And shamanism is a way to tap into creative inspiration that comes from within the spirit that we are, that will lead us to take authentic steps towards what our hearts and souls desire most. So during this global gathering, we will discuss what's possible when the invisible realms are acknowledged and honored, when nature is loved and celebrated as a part of ourselves. And also we'll explore how surrendering to our helping spirits, to our ancestors, can help support our action. So we'll see how shamanism and the practice of shamanism provides a space to deepen our inner knowledge so that new ideas, new thoughts, new pathway can emerge And today we're living in a time where it can be tempting to define ourselves solely through external concept. So your participation at this global gathering will inspire you to connect, to reconnect with your inner wisdom, and to act in alignment with your spiritual source. And truly, my intention is that this global gathering be fertile grounds for something new to emerge during this week, and that will continue after the conference. So I'm Celine Roche. I'm the producer and creator of this event. As I said earlier, and if you are just joining now, I'm so happy to be hosting you for the next couple of days. And it's really an honor to be with all of you today. Thank you. And please thank yourself for being here. If you came, something resonated with your heart and soul. And my experience is that during those summits, being gathered for the same intention is in itself very powerful. Our vibrations will rise and we'll be able to accomplish work with the support of our spirits and of our ancestors throughout the week and beyond. So we're all here, and whatever path you took to be here, I want to honor you for taking the time to reflect on yourself here today all together. And what brought you here is the beauty of the past. So I'm inviting you to enjoy your presence, and may this summit inspire you. So I have not arrived here on my own. So I'd like to honor and acknowledge a few people. My longtime spiritual teacher, Marilyn Graham, and Jocelyn Starfeather, who've been instrumental for the last few years in building such events. And I also want to offer my deep gratitude to my shamanic community all over the world, grandmother Shingi Sayangat and Nomin, grandmother Celeste La Joya, grandmother Alex, as well as Nan Moss, Jill Warts, and Kara Brown. And I also like to thank my husband, my family, and my best friend, Audrey. It's her birthday today, so happy birthday, Audrey, and Julie for all their loving support. And importantly, I like to thank all the speakers from the bottom of my heart for sharing their truth, wisdom, and insight during this event. And I really hope that their experience touch your soul and spirit during this week. So, as you may have read on the conference website, when you purchase lifetime access to the conference, you contribute to two wonderful programs, and I really want to mention them. The first program is the Adopt an Artist program. This program was created by Mia Ferroleto, whom I'll be interviewing later at 6 p.m. Central European Time, noon New York time. And she will be live from the oldest Sundance grounds on the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota. So her program is intended to send artists to various destinations around the globe to create and develop their art. And Mia is a strong believer, and I'm going to quote her here, that we need more creativity to problem solve and to build a better world. So she will explain her work and her vision for this major project. And the second program is Red Wind Councils that was founded 35 years ago by Oki Forest in Chiapas, Mexico. And Red Wind Councils foster spiritual consciousness and the restoration of social justice through awakening into the promised return of ancient indigenous council ways. So Oki interview will go on air tonight at 8 p.m. Central European time. That's 2 p.m. New York time. So I want to thank all of you who purchased the lifetime access to the conference. Your contribution to these two programs is greatly appreciated. And I'm delighted, in 2 weeks, I'll be sharing with all of you how much we've raised. So now, what brought me to this year's conference? Well, the Golden Eagle. Let's say that eagles made sure that I pay attention and they've been guiding me here to you here today. And eagles are found throughout the world, including Australia, Europe, Asia, Africa, the Americas. So wherever you are, you've seen eagles, and they're present in everywhere. And Definitely, they're very present in various traditions and cultures, given their power and majesty. So in Europe, we are mostly aware of the swallows migrating to Africa in the fall. So when they return in the spring, we can see them on electrical cables in farms, etc., etc. So we know that those birds are migrating. But the movements of raptors, such as eagles, so it includes all the different eagle species, they're harder to see because, well, they fly very high in the sky. So it's normal. However, I happened to be stationed on a mountain near the Strait of Gibraltar in south of Spain last year. And I was overlooking the Mediterranean Sea, and I could see the land of Africa, more precisely Morocco. And since then, I've experienced multiple migrations myself. So what does it mean? It's been a journey of encounters, experiences, inspirations, visions, and creation that I'm here to share with you today. So most raptors happen to fly over this location where I was. And why? Because this is the shortest path from Spain to Morocco. So they don't have to fly for long above the sea. And it is the shortest distance between the two lands. It's about 100 kilometers. So I would say less than 60 miles. And over the sea, they practice gliding using the ascending currents that carry them. And then they will continue their journey to sub-Sahara regions where they spend the winter to find food and to reproduce. So once they cross the Mediterranean Sea, they reach higher altitudes to cross the Moroccan Atlas Mountains. So they go up, 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 up. And when they not use, when they reach that higher altitude, they use this altitude to glide over a long distance at once. So they able to travel 450 kilometers, that's 280 miles, over the desert in one day. So all that gliding, from the Atlas Mountain, one day they cross the desert. So and then it takes them 1 to 2 weeks to travel the remaining 1,000 to 1,500 kilometers. So that's 620 miles. And what's interesting is that they travel rather during the day and toward the end of the afternoon between 3 and 8 p.m. And during these 2 weeks, they fly at a lower altitude, approximately 40 meters, that's 330 feet, which would indicate that they can hunt at this altitude. So crossing the Mediterranean Sea is not a major constraint. However, crossing the Sahara Desert is another story. And this area used to be very lush. I'm talking about 500 years ago. And this area had its own evolution and it became drier and more arid. So that's a big constraint for them. But in addition to that, there are two main obstacles. The first one is weather patterns, which is now much less favorable for them in the fall. And they have to go through very violent storms, really harsh weather condition. And the number two obstacle is that people are hunting them. So concerning the weather pattern, they've adapted. They now leave earlier than fall to avoid the least favorable weather condition. However, they have a major physiological condition that prevents them from leaving earlier. It's physiological. It's the annual molt of their large feathers, of their wing, their tail, and that's essential for them to be optimal. So that creates an essential barrier for them to leave earlier. They have to wait that, they molt. So in summary, we can highlight that they choose the easiest route possible, driven by their instinct. And they can glide over long distance for a certain portion of their journey. And they are very consistent every single day in how they break down their flying time. And last, they adapt to their environmental conditions. leaving as early as possible at the end of the summer. So you probably see where I'm going with this. There's a lot we can learn from this animal. And we'll come back to the eagle. But for now, let's talk about us, humans. So as human beings, we can handle our own thoughts and emotions, our memory and imagination. We can remember, we can project into a future. Fundamentally, we can create the future that we want. We are spiritual creatures, we have an intellect, and we live in physical bodies. So the more we know and understand ourselves, the less we are stuck in a physical world where we let external things control us. So how do we gain this awareness? Well, we do this by diving deep within. And we must discover and understand the nature of who we are. And for that, we need to pay attention. As I said, we need to dive within. And the consequence of that is so we can become more sensitive to what is real that triggers our emotion, a shudder that will reveal our intuition and our participation to the one. And that's when synchronicities start to add up. And the universe opens its door when we pay attention. And how do we open the golden gates of our hearts for our soul and spirit to welcome the vision that we came here to express? By simply being attentive, by learning to sharpen our ability to pay attention. So I could have gone to this mountain, walked, enjoyed the view, loved the eagle flying, and come back. Instead, I chose to stay there and pay attention and surrender to the experience. So, what is surrender? What is it to surrender? It's not wanting to control. For example, oh, I love to see the eagle come closer. That's not that. Not expecting, nor waiting for anything to happen. It's coming back to the present moment so I can see the eagle. Because if I'm thinking about my grocery list, I won't see the eagles. So coming back to center, coming back to the moment. And what is best for me is different what is best for you. What is good for my soul is different. It's different from what is good for your soul. And when we connect with our essence, meaning our soul and spirit, we can experience more and more our connection with the whole, with the living, with plants, with rocks, with the elements. And having a vision involves a deeper understanding, a purpose and direction in life. It's a meaningful perspective, and a vision will impact your life as well as others. So, what is inspired action? Paying attention. Our intellect, our brain help us to do that, to have an intention. Then we need to be in silence, to breathe in, to inspire the action that is good for us, for evolution. And then we need to surrender to the fact that our soul and spirit know what's best for us. So even it doesn't always show up as something pleasant, sometimes we need to fail and fail again and fail again. And those are the lessons to be learned along the way. So your shamanic practice, your relationship with the helping spirits, with plant spirits, can help you dive deeper within yourself to listen for and to fulfill your calling. And an inspired action is a door that has opened up for you in your life because you paid attention to that dimension of life. So now, once you've received the inspiration, You can say to yourself, but what do I do with this message? What do I do with it? An inspired action requires a purpose rather than a plan. Why? Because your heart can be invested in a purpose. And from there, you can create many goals, many possibilities. It's not restricted. And also, what is essential to mention here is that an inspired action is a balance between receiving and doing. It's a dance between the invisible and the visible. So it is work that you're doing in close relationship with your helping spirits, your ancestors. That means that you are the receiver of the information, and you can bring this insight to life here in this dimension. So, since this action draws strength and power through our hearts, through your heart, we learn to be self-loving towards ourselves in the process. So, when I mention the balance between receiving and doing, how do we experience that? Well, as I said, take the time to receive. That's number one. Be in silence. Journey to your helping spirits. Sharpen your ability to pay attention. Learn to observe the confirmations. How does it manifest, in these realms? Am I experiencing repeats, signs that are repeating? Am I dreaming about it? Am I daydreaming about it? How does it feel in my body? Am I following my intuition or am I going against it? So take the time to receive. Then this is the time to be in action and we have to start doing. So here the mind may give you many reasons why you shouldn't be in action. I can't, it's too much for me, I don't have time. And what's crucial here is to start. Like for example, being here today, attending this event, you're here, that's an action. And then as we breathe in the inspiration, there is a movement inside of us, a force that gives us the means to act, to do. So feel that, gotta feel that. When you are in action, then you grow with your obstacles. Now you're in the doing, you're in action, you got it, you're going to do a little bit every day. And that's when you're going to start meeting obstacles. So grow with them. So what are they? Fear, lack of self-confidence. I can give you a long list. I've experienced many of them, and I'm sure you did too. So what's key here is to be grounded in that this is happening for you and not to you. So learn from the obstacle that show up. Learn from them. And again, our own spirit, our soul, our helping spirits, they know better what's good for us. So they may have, few teaching to throw in there. And that's also a good time then to ask them for help, guidance, insights. So that's the time to be in touch with your helping spirit journey and to ask for the help. They're here to help. And I approach those obstacles as key learnings. So my great teacher, Marilyn Graham, called that exquisite unfoldment. So no matter where you stand, trust the exquisite unfoldment. So now you've started being in action. You've learned, about your obstacles. And the next step is to experience balance in inspired action. So you've done your part. You've brought a message, an insight, a wisdom, an invisible object into form. You've done that. You're in action. You've done this, you've done that, you've done this, you've done that. Now you may experience that you're doing a lot. And maybe you're a little bit overwhelmed. It's too much. Maybe you're a little bit stuck even. So this is a time to have faith, to have trust in your helping spirits. It's a time to be anchored in the support you're receiving from your ancestors. This is a time to dare leaning back. You have to authorize yourself to surrender. It's a time to stop insisting, pushing, forcing, going against what your body and soul want. So, as we can observe, in our society, we need tangibility. Overdoing is a perfect fit for that, right? Overdoing, doing. So when we lose track of our purpose, when we attach to control, we will receive the teachings mirroring that experience. And I think this may resonate with you. So when we have the courage to lean back, to give up control, it can be as simple as a 10-minute walk alone, a meditation, a journey, could be dancing, doing art, anything that connects us with our heart. It can also be being with friends, spending some time with them, with your family. And out of this letting go, giving up this control in the moment when we think, no, I have to do this. No. Do something else. Relax, lean back. And then we can engage again in a more organic flow. But most importantly, out of leaning back, we open the golden doors to new insight, new keys to unlock blockages, new creative solution. The feeling experienced here is joy. Wow, something got solved. You get some answers. Something not possible is now possible. The solution is found. And we experience that in the third eye chakra because it is seeing what we could not see before, what was stopping, the solution to arrive. And instead of overdoing against, we're now surrendering with. We welcome, we embrace a new idea. We know if it's authentic for us. We know it's aligned with us, with something bigger than us, the universe, your spiritual source, or whatever you call it. But you know it's bigger than you. And those ideas come in such a way that they are clear. It's fluid. There's no resistance. We feel content. And we want to play with those ideas. We even want to, be working with them. Like, wow, this is so exciting. There's excitement. And this gives us energy. We're eager to give them life. And they can even wake us up at night. And that doesn't bother us because it feels good. So to surrender is a critical point in creation. Surrendering to our helping spirit, something bigger than us, it will help us to relieve the fear and anxiety. So all the work you've done prior counts. That counts. All the day you were in actions count. Your regularity counts. Remember the eagle flying over the Sahara, right? Every day during a certain time, flying to get to destination. So when you surrender, your spirituality takes over, not your mind. So it's like, it's seeing like an eagle from high above. So we could say that surrendering is taking a necessary distance from our doing. Like the eagle flying at higher altitude above the Atlas Mountain to glide over, the desert for one day. They're using the ascending currents to carry them through the desert. So an eagle eye view, like the expression says it, means to have an overview. This teaches us to enlarge our vision. So we're not entangled in our own persona, but rather connected with the whole, with the living, with the animals, plants, rocks, and to see things with empathy and compassion. So yes, eagles have a large overview. Their field of view is 240 degrees. So imagine. And they fly high in the sky to have the best possible overview. But also, their exceptional eyesight allow them to see very small details. Their eyes are in fact like magnifying glasses, like the one I have here, but even more. They can magnify 6 to 8 times what they perceive. And they can also see a wider spectrum of colors than us human, which means that their eyes detect hues and contrast much better than we do. So as we work with the spirit of ego, we can ask for a clear vision from above. And it can point out details that we were not aware of, or see things from a different angle. So the ego is intimately linked to the fire of the sun. It's believed that it is the only animal that can bear to look straight at the sun. So we can say that eagles live between the two worlds, the earth and the celestial fire. So they can see the infinitely small and the infinitely large. And we can learn here balance from eagles. They are masters of flights due to their large wings. And I think this is a very important notion in creating from an inspired action, is that we can prosper while maintaining a good relationship with the living. So your vision can be prosperous while maintaining balance, as I shared, balance of doing and leaning back. So what I'd like to offer you right now is to do a guided journey to the golden ego, to rise up to your vision, and so that you can experience this yourself. And for that, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to share, let's see. Here we go. I'm going to share the ego with all of you. And I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and to really experience what I just said right now. So close your eyes. Your both feet are on the ground, and you can relieve your upper body, your shoulder. You can move them a little bit. And you can take big inspiration. And breathe out. And I want to thank the ego for bringing me here today with all of you. And I want to thank the ego for bringing me to beautiful places in the 4 directions within the past year: the direction of the East, Mongolia, and the direction of the Southern Europe land, and to the West with the Americas, and to the North, the land of the North and the Arctic Pole. And I want to thank all the direction you're coming from. Thank you so much for introducing yourself earlier and letting me know you're coming from so far: the East, the South, the West, and the North. And I'd like to invite you now to imagine a place that you know in nature. This place is beautiful. You know this place. You've been there before. It can be anywhere, any place you know and love. And you see a path, and I'm inviting you to take this path. And on the path, you can feel the sun touching your skin, kissing your skin. And the warmth makes you feel so comfortable, so nice. Enjoy what you see around yourself, maybe a tree that you know, maybe the sound of the wind in the pine needles. You can be with this place in nature that you love. And now you can look up into the deep blue sky. Deep blue sky. I'm inviting you to look up. And far away, high up in the sky, you will see an eagle with beautiful large wings. Beautiful. Maybe you can't see the entire eagle yet. Maybe you see it from far. Maybe you can see his feather. And he's coming closer to you. He's flying to you gently. Can see him descending to you. Maybe you can see the color of its wing better. Let him come to you slowly, gently. And now he can be in front of you. And you can look into his eye, his clear, sharp eyes. Maybe you want to touch his feather. They're very soft. They're very, very soft. It's a beautiful bird, beautiful. And now you're going to introduce yourself. You're going to tell him your name and your last name. And you're going to ask him if he can take you on a flight with him. So you can either be with him on his wings, or you can be by him and you can go up by him, and you're going to start fly with him. You can feel the wind, the gentle breeze on your skin that is caressing you. It's very soft, and you're going up. Gently, you're going up with him and you're flying above this beautiful place in nature that you know. Maybe now you can see this place from high above. Before you were there, now you can see it from above. And this is a time to share with your ego a project that you know about, or something that came to you when you don't really know what to do with it. Something you got prior to today. Or maybe there's nothing that you think of, and this is a moment for you to connect with a project, with an idea. So share with your ego, share with him what is dear, what is close to your heart with this project. Share with him what's important to you. And so a project can be an idea, like maybe having a conversation with someone, maybe planting a tree in a garden that you've been thinking of, or maybe it's a project of planting tree in a forest, foresting. Maybe it is doing something for the sea. Maybe it's something that you like to do in your neighborhood, or maybe for your friend and family. Maybe it's something that would engage different countries, different cultures. Can be anything. It can be anything. So share now with your ego. What is it that is close to your heart? Something very close to your heart that you know is authentic for you. Take the time to share that with your ego. And now, as you're sharing that with him, you can go a little higher with him. You can fly higher and higher, and you go closer to the sun. Oh, and it feels good to have the warmth of the sun on your skin. It's very nice. You're very comfortable and you're feeling the wind, the breeze. Maybe you have a body sensation of speed, or maybe you're gliding. And this is a time to ask the ego to teach you what it is to see from high above, what it is like to be high above. What do you see now? Now that you're with your ego and that you're flying high, you have a wider view of your project, of your idea. So, what do you need to see that you haven't seen before? Ask him, what is it? What is coming to you? And trust what's coming first. Trust that spontaneous image you may receive, or that spontaneous word that you're receiving. Trust that. Don't try to come up with something else. Really trust what's spontaneously showing up for you. So, what is it in this, from this wider perspective, what it is that you haven't seen before and that the ego is showing you right now? What is it? Take some time to observe. Is it a fear? Is it a looking good thing? Is it something that maybe you're afraid of to share? Get this inside. Try to see with the ego eye. See from far above. What is the ego is pointing out to you? What it is to see with his own eyes. And now we're going to ask him to go further into details. What are the details of your project that you can maybe see clearer now? Maybe your vision is getting clearer about this project. What are the details? Maybe things you didn't think about before that are coming up. What are those details to your project? Maybe it's a color, maybe it's a word, maybe it's something more precise about your project that is arising here as you were seeing through the eye of the ego. Letting you be with that experience. Trust what is spontaneously showing up for you. Now that you have gathered this information, take the energy of the sun as you're closer to the sun. Take that energy in. Take the energy of the wind. Take that energy to support your project. Anything else that the ego is sharing with you right now, take that in and feel it in your body as you're flying high above. What do you see? What do you see? Do you see the beauty of the earth, the beauty of your project? Let yourself be moved by your project, your creativity, the message you just received. This is authentic for you. Let yourself be moved by that. It's profound. And also, as you're flying with your ego, ask him to teach you what it is to lean back as you glide with him. Have that body experience of gliding from high above. What does that mean to your body to glide? Feel that experience in your body. Is it soft? Is it fast? Is it easy? Is it joyful? Gather all this experience in your body. Gather all the teaching from the ego. Maybe you're flying really fast with him. It can be different for everyone. Get that experience, that memory into your body so you can use it when you're back. There anything else that the ego want to share with you? Anything that you didn't know that was there in between you and your project, in between you and your creative idea? Anything that is being shown to you that now you can see clearly, a little bit like your eyes are seeing 10 times more. And you gain clarity in your sight, you gain clarity in your heart, you gain clarity into what is authentic for you. And as you gather the teaching and the wisdom of the ego, you can start to fly down, fly back very gently, very softly, or faster if you want, if your ego is eager to go fast. And as you come back again, this is a time to thank your ego. This is a time to be grateful for all the teaching that he shared with you, all the insight that you didn't know about, that got to be revealed, that got to be seen. Say thank you. As you come back to this place in nature that you love, very gently, you can land very gently. You can thank again the ego and the elements. And you are now in this place of nature that you know. And when you're ready, you can come back and open your eyes. So if there anything that you got, any insight about your journey, please feel free to share. You can be a word, it can be an experience, it can be anything that you like to share. And if something, oh, community, then thank you. Yeah, that's very moving. And it's important that you keep this for this entire global gathering, as you're going to, listen and be inspired by all our speakers, and also beyond. So I really intend that this is a new door opening for you, that you can work, deeper during this week. So anything else you would like to share about what you experienced during this journey, please let me know. You can also send me an email if something opened up for you, during the week, and you want to share with me what happened, what happened for you. And Lisa is saying, the ego told me to be brave and not to try to do things by myself. Yeah, it's seeing, our ability to doing in a different way, to lean back, to ask for help, and to really allow ourselves to receive those very helpful insights. And it can be scary. It can be scary to stop action in the middle of there's so much to do. But as you experience that more and more, then you can rely on this more and more. You know that you reach a tipping point where it's time to stop doing and to surrender and to note, to observe what happens. You will see the sign, you will receive the answer. So yeah, it's that daring to lean back, and what would be possible if we would work with community more, if we would be brave and ask for help. This would be a very different world. So I really invite you to continue your own journey. This was something we did all together, so we're going to be carried by that. But I invite you to connect with the eagle, and maybe you'll see eagles, this week. And its spirit. So it's very important to be connected to that. And again, it's an honor to be creating a new era of prosperity together, and to reinvent prosperity, not only on a material level, but to really respond to what's in our hearts, to what's true to ourselves. And we're going to be asked to do more and more action because of what's happening right now with our well, there's a lot of tasks to be done. And it's important to receive this support, because with that support, we can go much further, much deeper, and we can inspire more, right? So if you want to share a little bit more, yes. The ego. Doug said that the ego told me that I'm trying too hard. Yeah. Yeah. So that's something that you can put into practice. And again, I'm saying it again, it can be scary to drop action when we have a lot to do. But you need to learn. You can learn what you get out of leaning back. So practice, it's practice and daring. So, yes. I really hope again that this you enjoy the experience, and that you gain insight about your personal project. And this may be a little vague right now, and that's fine. Again, if you want to share with me by email, please do so. I'd be happy to, be a listener for what you're about to create. So if you're interested also in going further, I'm inviting you to save the date for a free webinar that I will organize in September this year. So it's a little further away, but this is something that you can, put in your calendar in September, and I'll share more information about the date. But, that's also available to you. But with what you experienced today, I'm sure that you will be practicing that this upcoming weeks and months. So once again, I want to welcome you to this global gathering. Enjoy the week. And I'll be seeing you live again at 6 p.m. Central European Time, noon New York time, and 5 p.m. UK time. And I will be interviewing Mia Ferroletto live from all the Sundance grounds in the Pine Ridge Reservation. And then I will be with Oki Forest. Oki Forest, our interview will air at 8 p.m. tonight. Those are beautiful teaching. I really wish you the best and magical experience during this week. All replays and videos will be available for you to watch 48 hours. That's for free, okay? And if you want, again, to have lifetime access, you can purchase that as well. So in closing, I want to say thank you for rising up to your vision so everyone can be touched and inspired. Yes, so thank you again. Thank you so much. Thank you, Christine. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you for taking care of yourself and your project being here. Thank you so much. and I'll see you soon in a little bit. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.